my point is to just show you guys that it's not like de-dollarization. I mean, again, the Bitcoin crowd is and listen, I'm a Bitcoiner long term. I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin long term. I think it's a great digital gold, but it's false to say that all of a sudden we're seeing the BRICS and all these other countries getting together and doing transactions in a major way, not using US dollars. It's just not happening yet. Basically, one of the things I post up on the weekends is what to look for the week. So on Tuesday, we have Case Shiller. Now, Case Shiller is not going to be super important to the market, but for me, who I was just talking earlier about the housing data, that's going to be interesting. Our housing price is starting to fall. Consumer confidence. I expect consumer confidence to be pretty good. The reason why it's pretty good because the stock market's still relatively high. People are still confident. Wednesday, this is an important one. ADP private sector. Forecast is 170,000 jobs added. This is a private number. It's not the non-farm payrolls on Friday, but it's a guide towards that non-farm payrolls. All right, pending home sales, same kind of deal right there. Interesting just in relation to the housing market. Okay, next up down here, we have Thursday, personal income and spending. This is the PCE number. Now, this is a big number. The reason it's a big number is because the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has said this is his most important number when he gauges inflation. So this one here, let's star that. That's going to be a big one for the market. That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. And lastly, the big one here, guys, and I hope you can see it here, but this one right here is your non-farm payrolls, your jobs data. Now remember, the narrative for the bulls is that this market, there's going to be no landing. Jobs are going to stay strong forever. All right, not forever, but at least in this period. Does that happen, or do we get a surprise weakness? Forecast 165,000 jobs. Let's find out. Friday, that's going to be a big one.
Bitcoin's potential to reach $100K. The upcoming Bitcoin halving event is expected to drive the price to new highs, possibly surpassing $100,000. However, challenges like macroeconomic headwinds and recent price fluctuations cast uncertainty on this prediction. Yet strategic miners and new entrants continue to increase hash rate, indicating strong long-term prospects. Bitcoin's price and market dynamics. Bitcoin's price has dipped by 0.5% over the last 24 hours, currently trading at $25,910. Despite this, the cryptocurrency maintains a market cap of about $504 billion. A notable trading volume surge of 35%, reaching over $8 billion, underscores active market activity. Bitcoin ETF and market dynamics. A potential Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF approval could drive substantial changes. BlackRock's involvement is seen as a bullish signal, but approval might lead to sell pressure on mining equities due to their use as a proxy for Bitcoin investments. The long-awaited ETF launch could reshape the cryptocurrency landscape. Europe's first Bitcoin ETF and ESG label. Europe's pioneering Bitcoin ETF receives an ESG label, marking a new intersection between cryptocurrency and ESG investing. However, concerns arise about the legitimacy of positioning a Bitcoin-focused fund as ESG compliant, especially considering the environmental concerns associated with Bitcoin mining. SEC's pending decisions on Bitcoin ETFs. The U.S. SEC is poised to rule on Bitcoin ETF applications from major financial firms. While anticipation grows, historical delays and deferrals from the SEC leave the industry uncertain about swift approvals. The decision's impact on Bitcoin's integration into mainstream financial systems is closely watched. Bitcoin's limitations as a replacement for fiat. Bitcoin enthusiasts champion its potential as an alternative currency, but Alasdair Macleod argues that its limitations prevent it from being a true replacement for fiat currencies. Practical use cases, legal complexities, and the lack of stability and value hinder Bitcoin's ability to function as a widespread means of payment and store of value. Now let's continue our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
Bitcoin continues to make a bear flag, okay? Flag patterns are important, guys, all right? In fact, I went over this chart here on, let me go here. This chart on Friday, right? Remember this chart? We talked about bear flags. Down move, sideways chop, and then it breaks down. Well, if you look at what Bitcoin is doing, it's doing essentially that, right? It's just a tighter range. But right now, we have this drop and then this sideways chop. And again, it doesn't guarantee it, but most times the end result is a move to the downside. So just be aware. Listen, people look at me and they're like, oh, it's Gareth Soloway, whatever it is. But the essence of it is I'm just following the charts. That's all I'm doing. When the charts are bullish, the charts are bullish. When the charts are bearish, the charts are bearish. A true investor and trader never assumes. We always go to the charts. And by the way, are the charts 100% accurate? Not at all. What we do from charts, and this is why technical analysis works, but a lot of people are like, oh, I don't believe in it. The charts are going to be somewhere in this range. All right. It means that 70% of the time, approximately, they work out, and 30% of the time they won't. 70% success rate. All right. That's, again, the goal. All right. Now, I'm able to get my success rate a little higher than that because I have a lot of tools. I have a lot of experience. But in general, if you're following the charts, what this is telling us is that 70% of the time, that's your resulting move. 30% of the time, it could go like this. And you have to be okay with that. You know, again, you are the casino. You are not the gambler. The gambler, the odds of a gambler at best, close to 50%. At best. Now, I'm not talking about poker where you can be a better poker player and you're playing against other people. I'm talking about casino games where you're, playing. That's the best you're going to get. I hate that. Why am I doing that? I always say to people, if I'm going to gamble in the stock market, why don't I just go to the casino and play by the book blackjack, almost 50% odds, and at least I get free drinks and can hang out with my buddies. I'm not in trading to get free drinks and hang out with my buddies. This is a job. This is to make money for me and my family. And so people have to remember that. Very, very important. All right. In any case, where is your target? Obviously, first target I've talked about, right around 25,000 on this. If it breaks, you're going all the way down here, and you're looking at $20,000 as a target on Bitcoin. So essentially, here's your bullish pattern of consolidation. You have your up move, your sideways consolidation, and then you pop to the upside. And I'm going to try on slower days where we don't have a lot of craziness, a lot of earnings news. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching every time so that you guys become better and better as traders. But again, if you look at that pattern, this is kind of a minute setup of what we're seeing in this chart here. If I zoom in, right? So here's your chart of gold. You've had the move up. Now you're going like this. And again, the idea is that the upside is now the higher probability based on your consolidation.
Don't forget to join us as we explore the unfolding events.
This is a chart of basically US dollar widens gap with euro. Now, everyone has heard about this, and basically we've heard about de-dollarization. All right, so again, my goal here is to dispel a lot of BS. You guys get a lot of BS out there. I've been on social media. I've been listening to the mainstream media, all this stuff. All right, basically what you're seeing here is a chart that proves to us that the dollar is now being used more than ever for over-country transactions or out-of-country transactions. It is now spiked higher. Euro is actually collapsing here in terms of overseas transactions and country-to-country transactions. But my point is this, is that will de-dollarization eventually happen? Absolutely. 100% it will. But it's going to take a long time, guys. It's going to take the U.S. screwing up its debt situation even more because remember, while the U.S. has a crazy amount of debt, every other country is in the same boat. There's really no other major country that hasn't had a massive amount of debt added to their balance sheet. So what this shows us here is that you can see that this is the dollar, this is the amount of dollars being used in over-border transactions, and we've actually gone up to new highs.
And that concludes an insightful episode of Money Talks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.